Good morning. My name is Kordwar of the Guild Gentlemanly PvP on Stormbluff High. Now, I've been reading the engineer forums a lot, and the biggest concern that I've been seeing is that the flamethrower misses all the time when you strafe. And I was hoping to alleviate that concern and shed some light on the subject thanks to my 200 plus hours of play. Now, the thing that people seem to be missing or not understanding is this right here, which is the cone of vision. Now, the cone of vision is unlike anything in any other MMO, and it's not so much that you have to be facing your target, because while you're facing your target, you will hit it every time. But the moment you start strafing, that's when the cone of vision starts to take over, and that's when you start to miss all the time. As long as something is in that cone, while you're strafing, you will be hitting that and not your intended target. So as long as you strafe and keep your camera centered on whatever you're aiming at, you will always hit, for the most part, what you're aiming at. Now keep in mind that the cone of vision really only takes over when you're standing still. When you're not standing still is when it misses all the time. Even if you're just a little bit off. So if timed right and aiming right, you can actually hit multiple targets just by sweeping around, which is a boon in SPVP, and it's also a boon in really any situation. Now in World of Warcraft or any other MMO, just because you're aiming at something and auto-targeting something, you'll hit it pretty much every time. But in Guild Wars 2, that is not so much the case. But the cone of vision, again, only really takes over when you're not moving. But the moment you start moving, if you let that get out of your cone for honestly just a moment,
nothing can bring me
that's
down.
when you start to miss. Because you're aiming at it really doesn't always mean that you hit it. The next aspect of the flamethrower that we'll be looking at is the air blast. Now the air blast is somewhat akin to spell reflect from warriors in World of Warcraft, or the compression blast for pyros in King Warriors 2. But the difference being it's more akin to compression blast than it is to spell reflect, because you can reflect multiple projectiles at the same time. Now a well-timed air blast will save several people, or it can buy you more time if need be. Now the thing about air blast is it takes a bit of timing and a bit of prediction, but you can reliably send projectiles back to their creators. Now every time you send a projectile back, it is considered a projectile. It's useful in PvE and PvP, more so sometimes in PvE, because high damage dealing dots, when they travel through the air, are considered projectiles. You can send them back and they become yours. Now while you can reliably reflect things back, it's not always possible, and it's not always an option. As long as it's within your cone of vision, you should be able to reflect. It's incredibly useful for reflecting other engineers' nets from their rifles, bolas from warriors, greatswords from warriors, axes from several different classes, necromancer spells from their auto attacks can be reflected back, and sometimes it's just time to wait for cooldowns or heals, or for other defensive abilities such as shields. So that about sums up the problems that I've been seeing engineers having. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below in the comments section, or I can be reached on Twitter at Kordwar. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.